Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going through the AFL Fantasy Trade targets for round 16, the last buy round. And now we get the most, I guess, openness with terms of trades. We have a lot of guys that are still like round 12 guys popping up again because they're going to start to really turn around and gain in price again. Bontempelli. You've also got rookies that are a lot of them off for the buy, which is really good to see. Mostly Tom McCarthy, but who's the most obvious trade in this week that I can even just say to you that I've ever seen, basically. I don't think I've seen a guy other than Nick Martin a couple of years ago. In round 2, I think it was, after he went 130. That was the only other most obvious trade in that I've seen in recent years, because I don't think I've seen a basement guy go 100. I don't think. It's so rare what Tom McCarthy and Nick Martin of old have done. So, yeah. But anyway, let's jump into this video here. So, I want to make this rather shortish, but also at the same time, there's a lot to get through, but basically the big rookie this week is Tom McCarthy, the most obvious one. One game, 101. He's got a minus 25 break even. If he goes 69, he goes up 79k. He's the type of guy that could easily make, if we are not even joking around, he could go 90 for the next 3 or 4 weeks very easily. And 3 or 4 90s in a row, he suddenly goes and jumps up towards, if we just go McCarthy here, he's not going to go 101, 101, 101, but he could easily go 90, I feel like, or 85 even. Let's just do 85 and show you the projection there. 85, he goes up 90k, 96k, 86k, and there's 565k suddenly, all of a sudden off 85s. If he goes even better than that and goes 90, that suddenly goes up to 583k, and he's absolutely flying. And yeah, that would be massive cash gen for a lot of us. He might not potentially be, how do I say this? He might not potentially be finishing in our sides, because we may need to use him as a, sort of that last upgrade, etc. But he could suddenly, instead of being the guy that you use alongside another mid-pricer to upgrade, you suddenly use him as the main mid-pricer almost, or the underpriced primo type of, or sort of like high-end mid-pricer, to get up to that primo type of guy. Or you could just keep him, because yeah, if he goes 100 again and goes 100 for the next couple of weeks, he's just going to absolutely fly and be a mega cash gen. And so yeah, he probably will be in most sides till the end of the year, but yeah, I have a feeling that he's going to be 5 or 6 week play, and then suddenly in the last couple of weeks you're looking at him going, oh, I can use him to potentially, some of us will probably look at a key forward potentially or something like that in the last couple of weeks to flip McCarthy to, because you could loop on a key forward potentially in the last couple of weeks at around the same price that McCarthy will be at in that time. And that key forward could easily have the Richmond matchup. Let's look at this. In terms of West Coast, they've got a lot of people already have Darcy in that last round. Second last round, etc. Could you look at a Thilthorpe or a Fogarty in round 22, etc.? Who do the likes of Richmond have? If we look at Richmond, they've got St Kilda, North, and also the likes of Geelong. Could you look at a Jeremy Cameron in round 23, 24 or something like that, as he would have Sydney and also Richmond alongside Essendon? You could look at like a Jeremy Cameron for the last 3 weeks and just go, oh yeah, he's going to score really well across those 3 weeks. So that's something you could do. Ralston on the bye, but he was mega as well, and he's only just going to go up in cash even more if he plays outside of the bye. Like, we expect him to score sort of 70s or so, which he's going to probably be the rookie of choice next week, just because he is still so cheap. He's still 327k. You could get away with that next week, I feel like, as just sort of a week where you maybe not necessarily upgrade, but you just get rid of all your... you can get rid of like a Lucas Camporelli in that week. You can get rid of a Gross. You can get rid of this and that and everything. Because if he goes 70 for the next 3 weeks, he's looking at being 500k. And then at that point, you can potentially use him as an upgrade piece as well. And yeah, so I'm looking at grabbing him next week potentially as I upgrade to mid prices or something like that, or upgrade a premium to be an actual premium, etc. Alongside someone else, etc. and grab him because yeah, he's if he plays, he's going to score well. Dua is 464k. I think he's just off the base of one good. Well, he scored 74 and then 115. Yeah, I just can't see him scoring consistently well. Manny Liddy's played 2 games now, went a 74 and has a -10 break even. He could also be another guy that you potentially look at next week because it looks like he's going to get good game time as well. But he'll probably be about 360k, which you'd almost rather Ralston than Liddy next week, to be honest with you. But we'll see how he goes. Archer May on the bye. Boyd Vicentini, I wouldn't touch him, to be honest with you, on the bye obviously this week, and next week they could run with Goldstein next week, but you'd like to see them run with the rookie ruck there. And then no one else here really matters, to be honest, in terms of rookies. Then we go to the coach's choice, and I'm going to say McCarthy number 1, Liddy number 2, Bont number 3, Butters number 4, I want to say is what is going to happen. Mills, I forgot about Mills. Wow, no Bontempelli at all down there. Wow. But anyway, Tom McCarthy, that was the obvious one there. I forgot that most people just waited on Mills a week. But yeah, Mills is the slam dunk defender case. He went 96, which, I mean, when you actually think about it like that, 96 is not the greatest, but he didn't do anything in the last quarter, it didn't feel like. So he'll be fine, I feel like, in the long run, and still average around that 95 to 100. I'm just trying to check what he scored in the last quarter because it didn't feel like he scored any, if at all. Let me just see quickly here. Let's just quickly go to, I can actually do it this way. And then he scored only 12 points in the last quarter and 23 in the third. So he was on, 61 at halftime. So yeah, I'm not too worried about him, to be honest with you. I think he just picks it up and he'll be fine. I think he goes potentially 100 or so for the rest of the year, which is really, really good. And, I mean, you're getting that out of probably a Tom McCarthy, but you can get that out of a Mills as well. And you can easily get those two from basically 2 mid prices that are going probably 60s, 70s, and you get an upgrade of about 30 points per player, I think. Then Liddy, we talked about. Dua, I think a lot of people are just trying to buy in for the break even. I'd much rather just go, and probably because he's got forward status, I'd much rather go somewhere else because Darcy is only, 350k more, which is quite a lot comparatively, but he's going to be a lot more consistent. I don't know if Dua's going to be able to consistently put up those numbers that we saw out of Darcy, to be honest with you. So yeah, I really do like Darcy over Dua because Darcy's gone, what are we saying now? He is gone 7-11 through 8 games and he has an 8-pointer in there. So that means he has gone 7-0-3 through 7 games, which is an average of 100.42, which is mega. I think it's 100.42 sounds about right, maybe something like that. Anyway, so yeah, he's averaging 100 and you're getting him for 82, 81 maybe. So yeah, massive underpricing of him. So yeah, I really like that. Luke Jackson, I really like this as well. He went 144 as a solo. 92 last week as a couple of weeks ago as a duo, and he's gone 116, 108, and 98 as well. It feels like this is his real breakout year. No matter where he plays, he basically is just doing really well. And it was only an injury in round 4 that really held him back. As well as this game here where he didn't play much TOG. He was about 7-8% on unders in this game as well, which if you put that up, that's still a 75. So his baseline almost feels like a 75. And his top out, obviously, in this game was a 144. But if you're getting 120s out of a ruckman, basically that's really good. But alongside the fact that he's got the forward status, so you can just hide him in the forward line, that's also really, really good. And he was an obvious pick last week that I just missed and now have to pay 50k more for him. Wangani Malira, I think a lot of people are waking up to him being almost ungettable next week. I mean, he's still got 94 break even, but yeah, he is just being just mega week in, week out. He's averaging 116 for his last 5 games, 123 last 3. He's been absolutely huge. Colby McKercher, I mean, he went 99, priced at 712k. If you wanted a differential to like a Callum Mills, and you already had like a Luke Jackson, you already had the Bontempelli. I mean, if you already have basically the Bontempelli, Wanganeen Malira, Luke Jackson, Sam Darcy, Callum Mills alongside it, which is quite hard to get all of those guys in, not gonna lie, then I would be saying, oh yeah, you should be going for a Colby McKercher, because we've seen in the last 3 weeks, he's got 91, 85, 99, which he's going to go up in price 40, 50k again. And yeah, he's going to be around that same marker that Mills was 2 weeks ago. With the same sort of characteristics. So yeah, I am a little bit worried about McKercher because I probably won't own him, given that there's other guys that I want to own. But I can see, yeah, I'm hopeful that he doesn't score well, but I can really see the positives with him as well. There's just, I think, better positives with better other players. Bontempelli, he looks back. He went 120 and he did it easily in 82% time on ground. And yeah, I think he's a guy that, I mean, he's averaging 99 for the year after coming back from early little bit of injuries. To get tagged for a 50, Swans will probably try and tag him. But I don't think will they actually tag him? That's a big question, because I think James Jordan and Roy Bottom or whatever is going to have better opportunity to tag the likes of a Ed Richards and a Bailey Dale. So maybe Bontempelli gets away. And I mean, if we just go here and we look through Bontempelli and just look at what he's done in the past against Sydney, let's just look at his last 3 against Sydney. You will see in the last 3 against Sydney, he's gone 142, 98, 81, and he really hasn't ever been tagged. So that's actually a really good sign that he's never been tagged. Obviously, it does suck that he's not putting up the mega scores, but that's reserved for the Richmonds and some other sides that he does really score well against. So yeah, I think bringing him in is a good option this week. West gets his debut, wouldn't be bringing him in just because it could be 1 in, 1 out, etc. But we'll see if he gets a long run in it. But yeah, he could be an option to potentially just, if you need a rookie next week, that's potentially him and Ralston, just 2 rookie downgrades next week, and you suddenly bank a lot of cash or something like that. And you potentially are able to do a lot of good moves in the coming weeks as you really try and just finalize your sides if you haven't already. Josh Dacos, he's probably not really becoming a differential just with the way he's played in the last couple of weeks. 109 in the last 3, 105 in the last 5, 102, sorry, in the last 5. He has been huge. West Coast, then he's got Gold Coast, Freo and Richmond. One thing I'm going to do now that we are a fair chunk of the way through this video is actually just go to season long matchups and really be showing you who are the guys that you want. So we don't really care about the forwards, to be honest with you, but I mean, I can show you the key forwards for the rest of the year. You've got, I mean, Western Bulldogs actually have a fairly neutral run, but anyway. Inside mids for the rest of the year, the team you want to be targeting is GWS. Surprise, surprise. And then St Kilda, and then Richmond. And so, yeah, then you've got, where's the Western Bulldogs? They're at a plus 1.05 as they've got a pretty decent run. And then, yeah, you've got Geelong as well. That's like Max Holmes territory as well there. Max Holmes, I think, is another a week and then go again because he scored 71. So he's going to drop down a little bit. So yeah, that's the inside mids is basically the GWS, St Kilda and Geelong Western Bulldogs route. And then for the rucks, we saw this, I think, last week as well. But Geelong have a mad ruck run, but they basically don't have a ruck, so it doesn't matter. Then you have the likes of Sydney, and if we actually look at Sydney after round 19, if we go to round 20 as well, you'll see Sydney and North Melbourne as well. So I basically, well, I mean, this is fantasy, but yeah. So I'll basically have, in the last 4 or so weeks, the best couple of rucks in the comp. Yes, they do play against each other in round, where is it? Round 19. But after that run, they have between them only 2 red games and a yellow game, I believe. Is it? No. Sorry. 2 red games, and that's it, and a light green between them, and that's it for 10 games. So yeah, I'm getting 7 greens out of the last 10, which is huge. And I could even trade potentially a Cherry in the last week against Adelaide, because Adelaide is a horrific matchup, and move him potentially to who's got the easy matchup in that round. Who do Richmond play? They play Geelong. Who do the likes of St Kilda play? They play GWS. Who do the likes of Melbourne play? They play Collingwood. That's going to be a horrific matchup all round, except for the fact that TDK has the likes of Essendon, so that'll be interesting there. Or Western Bulldogs has Fremantle, so potentially moving a Tim English, getting to a Tim English could be absolutely huge in that last little bit there. But yeah, that's just my ruck thoughts. And then we go to designated kickers, because they're the last ones to look at. And Geelong again, so the likes of Max Holmes post bye actually could just be a pickup anyway, just because he's got Richmond straight away. So yeah, I forgot to mention he was on a bye anyway, because I forgot. But yeah, he could be a really good pickup, to be honest with you. Then you've got North Melbourne as well there. So, and North Melbourne also gets better in round 18 as well. If we look just 2 weeks ahead, you've got North Melbourne and St Kilda. So really looking at the Harry Sheezels, the Caleb Daniels, the Colby McKerchers, alongside the Wangani Maliras and the Jack Sinclairs. Like, you could have a backline full of those guys alongside Max Holmes as well. So you could have a backline, and this is where I'd really look at these, because we've seen it before as well. Maybe more so in Supercoach than Fantasy, but we've still seen mega scores in the backline. If we look at and we're just going to do this, if we look at the sort of highest scoring players, you'll see a forward, a ruck, a midfielder, a ruck, defender, 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 midfielder, defender, forward, etc. Another defender, ruck, midfielder. If you're looking at that, Nick Dacos is if we just go quickly here, the 16th ranked player for scoring, but he is the 1, 2, 3, 4. Is he the 4th or 5th best midfielder? Am I just doing 1, 2, 3? Is he really the 4th best midfielder? There's only 3 ahead of him. That's crazy. So there's only 3. He's the 4th best midfielder and he's 16th ranked, which just shows you there is that many defenders. There's already 4 defenders in front of him, 5 defenders in front of him already, but one of them's a defender forward anyway. Well, you could do a top 6 defenders before you get to the 4th best midfielder in terms of the overall rank, overall scoring. If we look quickly and just switch this to general stats and look at L3 for this, there's some rucks, etc. But again, defender, ruck, midfielder, forward, defender, midfielder, etc. You get basically in the last sort of the top 12, 13, there's 4 defenders and 4 midfielders. Usually that isn't the case. There's usually 6 or 7 midfielders for every 4 defenders. So that's why I'm saying defenders are really important to look at in the later half of this year, and look and try and match up how many greens can you get in a row, basically. So if we look here, Fremantle have 2 greens and then a neutral against Hawthorn. That's interesting. You've got Adelaide, who's got 2 greens and then 2 neutrals. So that could be something that you look at. They don't really have anyone. You've got the likes of North Melbourne here, just looking at this run. They've got neutral, green, neutral, green. That's a decent run to have. And that it gets extremely better when you see in the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, they've got 4 greens, 1 red, and 2 neutral games. That's a really good run, and something we really need to be looking at is just how this evolves in the last 9 weeks. Are we looking at now? Yeah, 9 weeks. So this is probably, this alongside the ruck matchups, which are probably the 2 most influential in terms of the high-end players really do make a difference. So yeah, looking at this, like West Coast doesn't matter. But if we look at the top end of it, you've got Sydney. Brodie Grundy's going near enough what Gawn and Cherry are going, and Darcy Cameron, etc., Luke Jackson, etc. are going for the last 5 weeks. So he's a massive one to consider, and that's why I brought him in. St Kilda, Roel Marshall, his matchup really good in the last 3 weeks as per the guidelines there. So watch that space, especially with Madden potentially getting dropped for Briggs. That could change to red, which would influence that. So, but Rowan Marshall on the radar there. Then you've got Richmond, and then you've got GWS, no one there really. North Melbourne, Cherry, the matchups get rather neutral-ish for the next 4 weeks, but then he goes good game, good game, good game, good game, worst game in the comp for the last round. Essendon don't have a ruckman, West Coast doesn't matter, Fremantle, etc. So you can kind of see as well the reason why Melbourne was traded, the reason why Gawn was traded out by most. It's just this run here of just a buy into red, 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 red. That is just not, you would just like, you could potentially, like, let's look at this logically, right? These guys, I think, are minus 15 across the, we'll actually do this in terms of just on his average. We'll say, we'll make the assumption that the player X that you traded him in for, and for me, it was Brodie Grundy, is going to go the exact same points. They have the exact same base average, and I'll show you the differential. So if we go to defense first position here, and we go last 10 for rucks, and we go here, and we go, he has got the likes of Gold Coast, then Adelaide, then North, then Carlton. Gold Coast, Adelaide, North, and then Carlton. Let's quickly do this. Gold Coast is a minus 15.12. Then you've got Adelaide, who are a minus 8.08. Then he's got North Melbourne, I'm led to believe. North Melbourne and then Carlton. North Melbourne are a minus 6.93. 6.93. And then he's got Carlton, who are a minus 8.77. So on the last 10 games, he is already 38.9 points behind. And then you get a Brodie Grundy, who in that time, he did have Port Adelaide as well. And Port Adelaide were a plus 12. So we'll counter this in for that. So we'll use his schedule there. Plus 12.76. Then we get the likes of who's he got this week? He has got the likes of a Western Bulldogs, Fremantle, St Kilda, and North Melbourne. Western Bulldogs, who are a minus 1.74. Then he has got Fremantle, doesn't he? Yep, Fremantle, St Kilda, North Melbourne. Fremantle are a minus 0.04. So it is that. And then he's got St Kilda, who are a plus 2.63. And then he's also got North Melbourne, who are as we said, a minus 6.93. So if we look at that, there is supposed to be about a 45-point differential between Gawn and also Grundy, alongside the fact in the last week, alongside the next 4, alongside the fact that there was about 60 points that you gained from the bye, if not 70 or so, I think, because of Gawn sitting out. Well, I think my lowest was a 60 or so. So if we take into effect that in the next 5 rounds, it's projected in the next 5 weeks that Gawn will be outscored by Grundy by 105, 106 points in the next 4 weeks added on last week. That's a huge margin. That's why you really got to look at these runs, because obviously that is inflated by the extra bye that Gawn had to sit, but still 10 points per week, if we are looking at it in the ruck line, potentially 10 points per week, 40 points across 4 weeks. That's huge. If you can get that in 2-3 positions across a 4-week span, you're potentially making 100 points per round to 120 points per round just by swapping out a Primo because they hit a bad patch. 120 points per round for 3-4 rounds. That's almost potentially like 400, 500 points. That's why it's so it's mega to look at the real green matchups and the real red ones and avoid them pretty much at all cost. But anyway, that is the video. They're going through the AFL Fantasy trade targets for round 16. Just looking quickly at the out for the week here. And Clark, Merritt, Whitfield, Johnson, Levi Ashcroft, Kako, Boxall, they all make sense to me. Pretty much all of the remaining bye players that everyone's got. And that's it all, guys, that are injured / dropped, etc. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my AFL Fantasy team reveal for round 16 alongside my tips for round 16 as well. So I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.